So I know I've talked about this time and time again about this freeze we had here, this storm we had where it was freezing for like 4 days straight, which is unusual here in the South. And, just different things. We had this pipe break, and all these people have been suffering from this freeze. But one thing is I've noticed is with our vegetation, with all the areas that aren't, our vegetation or plants and stuff that are used to very warm weather. And they're not meant to live under freezing circumstances. And as it's become spring and as it's getting warmer, it's been so fascinating to see what's going to come back and what isn't going to come back. Like, we're just like, what do we do here? What do we do there? And you find yourself Googling a lot, and, you have landscapers saying to do this or that, to try to save, whether it's trees or bushes or whatever it is. And so as some of these things I've noticed that, that we thought died or were damaged from the freeze, they're coming back stronger than they were before. And some things are just, they couldn't handle it and they've died. So we have our big, beautiful palm trees, and every palm tree everywhere, they look so sad because all their palms fell off and they're these just big, they look like big giant stumps. And you're so curious and waiting, going, oh, is it going to come back? Is it not going to come back? And you're just anxiously waiting to see, could they handle that? But then I had these big trees in my front yard. I don't even know what they were. They were obviously not to this area, because when we had a cold weather come through a few years ago, and they got damaged. And they were coming back, and they were slowly coming back. And this storm just put them over the edge. I was so sad. Like, they were not coming back. Landscapers, like, these trees are not coming back. And then I was thinking, when we have a freeze in our life, we can do, we can either come back stronger, or we could just crumble under the pressure. And that's, kind of like I look at those 2 trees we lost in our front yard. We had that one storm, and they trimmed them down, and they're supposed to be like shaped trees. I don't know. Who knows? This would be better if I knew what kind, but I have no idea what kind of trees they are. And then we had to cut them down, and they looked so ugly. They weren't these big round ones, and they were just oddly shaped. And then when we had the second freeze, it was like, a few years later, it's like they just gave up. And so all of us are going to have freezes in our lives. And we may go through a period of time where we have to be trimmed, and our lives have to change, and we look different, and we don't look like we used to, or, whatever it may be, whether it's your situation, whether it's your knowledge, anything, and then you go, okay. And these trees, they finally got back to their height, their shape. And then a storm came again, and they just, they just died. And sometimes you look and you go, come on. Why again? Why? And I'm sure, I can't imagine that there's someone out there who has never, ever in their prayers to God said, why? What am I to learn? And so when those freezes happen, do you come back stronger? Do you come back and say, I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to be prepared for when those happen again? Or do you just give up when another thing happens and says, you know what? Hey, I did. I came back and it happened again. I'm done. So how do you prepare for those freezes? What do you do? How do you build your faith in Christ? A lot of times faith and trust go hand in hand. And you need to know someone to trust them. I can tell you about Christ time and time again. I can tell you how he's helped me. I can tell you how he's strengthened me, how he's eased the burdens that have been put on my back. And that may help some, but you need to learn of him yourself, for yourself. So your faith and your trust in him for when those storms come, that you will be strong and that you will come back more beautiful than before. And then you can stand as a witness of Christ. So get to know him, study, read about him, read his words. I promise you, the more you get to know him, the more love you'll have in your heart, and the more peace and joy you'll feel.